we'll get the point. Um, awesome. So today we're talking about fueling for performance. And who is this talk for? So we're going to talk about fueling for the day before an event, the day of an event, and then also how to best fuel for recovery. So specifically, who is this nutrition talk for? It's for like the majority of people. They do not need to do anything too detailed, right? So it's really important for most people to just have the specific focuses on eating mostly whole foods, balancing out proper portions, and eating mindfully to reach their goals. But if you have more of a specific goal, like let's say the CrossFit Open workout or long distance running, different things, then there are some details that you can add to take your nutrition to the next level. So we're gonna dive into that some. But in other words, I highly recommend having the foundational habits nailed down before trying to focus on the little details. All right. So fueling the day before, a lot of times it is stressed to eat more carbohydrates the day before an event in order to really increase those glycogen storage, right? Well, glycogen, let's talk a little bit about it. So it is the storage form of the carbohydrates that we eat. So it's mostly found in your liver as well as muscle tissue. Glycogen accounts for about 6% of our liver's total weight and about 1 to 2 of our muscle tissue. Okay, 1 to 2%. So the actual amount of glycogen storage a person has, it depends on factors such as your skeletal muscle mass or how much you exercise, right? So the glycogen that is stored in the muscles is primarily used to fuel your muscle tissue, while glycogen in your liver is distributed throughout your body, all right? So it's distributed whenever it's needed. And when someone uses up those glycogen stores, then they're experiencing fatigue. And you've heard people use the term like hitting the wall, right? Like runners, and let's say you just hit that wall, you've used all of those glycogen stores. All right, so knowing this information, people started to realize they needed more carbs to fuel for those long workouts or those long distance runs. And this is often referred to as carb loading. Well, while it's true that it's also turned into eating mounds of pasta the night before, right? And stacking up those pancakes the morning of, and that's not what your body needs. You guys know this, but I did want to hit on this a little bit. It does take time for your body to break down all those carbs that you ate to turn them into glycogen stores. So while carbs and fats are admittedly very important to fuel our workouts, there's a better way to do this, okay? So here's the deal, the plate method. You guys have all heard me talk about the plate method, and this is what I want to stress for a daily basis, such as eating those whole foods, also getting in a balance of carbohydrates, fat, and protein, and eating consistently, right? So also snacks and meals and staying hydrated. That's what we should be doing the day before our events, the week leading up. It's all about what you're doing all together and being consistent. So in High Tide Nutrition Coaching Program, we focus on just one thing at a time, and the plate method is a great habit to start if you're looking to focus on one thing throughout the day. All right, so the day before your workout, you know, the plate method right here in front of you, you have half a plate, those non-starchy fibrous veggies, right? You're getting a lot of nutrients there. And then at least 1/4 to 1/3 of your plate should be that protein, whether it's you know, a good quality lean protein like chicken, or if it does have some fat in it, it needs to be protein as also at least 1/4 of your plate, right? And then you have your starchy carbohydrates, whether it in this picture, you know, that sweet potato or those starchy beans, or it could be rice. That's also going to be the smallest portion of your plate. And then you have that fat at the top that you can see. And it really depends on how much fat you add to your plate, depends on how much fat you have in those and that protein, or how much you're cooking with, and all those little things go together. But making it simple, just that plate method right here, okay? All right, so while eating a balanced diet the day before, it's going to set you up for success, right? You should also consider these other 3 tips, and one is to skip the alcohol. So the night before your workout, skip the alcohol. get 80 ounces of water in and get good sleep, which we will talk a little bit more about that in a few minutes. Now that we discussed the day before, let's talk about the day of, okay? And with the events such as the Open, we know that some people go to that early, 5:30, 6:30, 9 a.m. class. And then there are some people who wait until Friday Night Lights to do it. So we're going to break it up into 2 tracks for morning and afternoon fueling. All right. You do want to eat before, because remember those glycogen stores that we talked about? Well, overnight we enter a fasted state where our bodies utilize those for energy. So eating before, it helps us replenish those lost energy stores. But remember, it does take time for our body to convert our food into energy. So try to wake up earlier to eat something. And we should aim to get healthy carbs and protein. And if you're someone who struggles with feeling nauseous or, you do not want to eat before, that's okay. You could try to make it something very small, like try liquid sources such as a smoothie or applesauce with protein powder or Greek yogurt with berries. But typically eating something, or especially liquid sources, those are going to be easier for our body to digest, all right, to utilize for energy. Okay. Notice that I said carbs and protein and not fat. And while we do all need that nourishing fat as a macronutrient in our diet, but fat slows the digestion process, which it delays gastric emptying, which increases the amount of time it takes for our carbs and protein to get into our cells to be used for energy. So start before your workout, carbs and protein, make sure you have enough time to digest it. And then also throughout the day of, you're drinking water with electrolytes, right? We love the LMNT here. And also we like to add creatine to our LMNT mix if that's something that you're interested in. And why creatine? Because creatine helps maintain that continuous energy supply to your muscles during these intense workouts, during the open workouts, during exercise. So it provides more energy and it helps your increase muscle growth, and then also it helps speed up recovery. So creatine's been a big topic over the past few years, but really 10 years. So yeah, if that's something you're interested in, let me know. We can chat more about that. And if you're also someone who works out in the evening, then it's encouraged to have that normal breakfast and lunch that you typically have. You want to have that normal balanced breakfast and lunch. So, maybe you have snacks throughout the day that are balanced as well. You're going to continue doing that. And we do want to fuel ourselves throughout our day and also have those additional carbohydrates before workout. So that might look like an applesauce with protein like we talked about, or something that is easy to digest. Okay. You do not want to try anything new the day of an event. So trying a new food the day of, it just leaves you with uncertainty. Excuse me. And when it comes to your workout, that's the last thing you want to be worrying about. Is it going to sit well? Is it going to give you an upset GI tract? So stick to foods that you know, and if you're interested in a new food for performance, test it out the week before. All right. Also, a lot of people like to ask me about pre-workout. So if you're about to do the open workout where your heart rate is about to spike and you need to focus on controlling your breathing, then, why add a pre-workout that is going to speed up your heart rate even more? So I recommend skipping that and skipping that sugar and candy before. That's just my recommendation, but you do what you are used to doing right now, right? So we talked about fueling the day before, fueling for our workout and the day of. And now what does after your workout look like for recovery? So a great rule of thumb is to have a whey protein shake, or if you don't like whey, then a vegetarian alternative ready to go after your workout. All right, so adding a carb to this shake, such as coconut water, is also usually recommended to help you replenish and refuel your body as you recover. So you have the good protein and carbs that you're focusing on, really getting in within 1 to 2 hours after your workout, or that might look like 4 to 5 hours after that pre-workout meal or snack. Okay. All right. And those of you, some people just really love that post-workout treat, such as, the pizza, donuts, alcohol, all that fun stuff. While our bodies, they are more sensitive to glucose during that time after we've worked out. So that means that it can get out of our blood and into our cells faster. So we still want to focus on good quality whole foods. All right. And that's not to say you can't enjoy a treat, but as always, enjoy your treat mindfully and then move on and pair it. Maybe you have that protein shake before you do have your beer or whatever that is. Okay. Just remember that your body is more sensitive during that time. All right. Hold on. Someone commented something. Okay. Hello, Lay. Um, so I also want to touch on the importance of putting this all together, right? If you're not eating all day and then you have your post-workout shake, you cannot expect to perform your best, or if you're not going to be able to replenish and refuel properly. So there's no such thing as a magic pill, but if there was, it would be consistency. Okay, guys? And also for a protein shake, a lot of people ask, what kind of protein, what kind of brand should I get? And so I just wanted to hit on that for a second. Did you guys know that the supplement industry is not regulated by the FDA? And so this means that these supplement companies, they can lie about what they're putting into their products. So there are two things I want you to think about whenever looking for a protein or any kind of product in the supplement industry. And that's one, do you like the taste of it? And two, does it have quality ingredients? So how do you know if it has quality ingredients? And you want to find a product that has the informed choice stamp on it on the front of the bag. And so that's telling you that they are high quality and that it's truthful labeling. Okay, we have our post-workout protein and carbs, but what does the day after the workout look like to help us recover? And the best thing you can do for yourself is to stay consistent with your intake, especially protein, okay? And then allow yourself to take a rest day, go on a walk, move your body. But, if it's an intense workout that you can feel it, just like any day of the week, whenever you feel that you are hitting that 10, take a recovery day when needed, okay? Fueling for success is not about what you do right around the workout. It's about what you're doing consistently doing every day, all right? And then also something else that if you're fine tuning, think about adding in an omega-3 source to aid in the recovery process. All right, so there's a lot of misinformation out there. It can feel overwhelming. And so that's why I've talked with you guys about this before, but these are the 3 principles that have helped a lot of people. And the first one is add more whole foods into your diet. All right, so does this look familiar? The plate method, that's one way. Start choosing whole food options and choose less of those processed foods that are made in factories that have a lot of sodium, trans fat, and sugar. And the plate method is just a really easy way to start doing that, or simple. I'm not going to say easy, but it's simple. All right, number 2 is to focus on balancing out those macronutrients, okay? And when I say balance, I mean, does every meal and snack you consume throughout the day contain that carbohydrate, protein, and fat? All right, so pairing them up, it's going to help you stay fuller for longer. And this balance of all 3 macronutrients, it's a rule of thumb for almost every meal and snack, but outside of your pre-workout, right, and post-workout, because we talked about how fat delays digestion. All right, the third one, super simple, but I could not say it, just limiting the sugar, being aware, looking at your ingredients. The AHA recommends no more than 6 teaspoons for women and 9 teaspoons for men per day. And the average person consumes over 150 pounds of sugar per year, which is 46 teaspoons per day. And it's not that surprising because sugar is super addicting and it's hidden in almost every food product that is found in the package. So read the ingredients, know what you're putting into your body. I'm not going to keep saying all that stuff, but it's something to always do. Just look at the ingredients, guys. All right, here's a few questions. Sleep, one of my favorite things to talk about. How does sleep affect my health and wellness goals? And as an example, regarding recovery, when we sleep, our body is at rest. Okay, so including our brain, our nervous system, and this allows for an increased flow of blood and nutrients to the muscle tissue for repair and growth. Well, what about people who are on a weight loss journey or just general health and wellness? If you're not getting enough sleep, then cortisol in your body will increase. Another hormone, leptin, which makes us feel full, it decreases, and then ghrelin, our hunger hormone, increases. Okay, so pretty much we're prioritizing the storage of fat and water in our body due to the increased cortisol. So we are less full and more hungry. All right. And then these shifts in hormones are due to the lack of sleep. And then when that happens, you're most likely going to have increased cravings throughout the day and consume more food, which a lot of you probably realize and have noticed on days that you just do not get good sleep. You're hungrier throughout the day. All right. Veggies. I always love talking about veggies, all these different ways. If you don't love veggies, guys, you need those fibrous, non-starchy veggies. And all I want to recommend is that you try different ways to eat them. Maybe you roast them, or maybe you do put them in smoothies sometimes, or you have a yummy sauce to put on top. But just keep trying different ways, experiment. Okay, lastly, where should I start? And start with one thing at a time. Okay. With High Tide Nutrition Coaching, we focus on one thing at a time. And that's what's going to help you be consistent and keep it long term. Okay. So now that I have chatted with you guys about what to eat before, during, and after a workout, I would love to hear from you guys if you have any questions, any comments. Go Blue Team. What are your thoughts?